Los Angeles City Council. Today is Wednesday, April 26th, 2023. I'm Paul Krikorian, President of the City Council, and we're ready to begin today's meeting. We will be taking public comment today, both here in the Council chamber and by teleconference. Let's begin, Mr. Clerk, by calling the roll.
Yes, Mr. President. Blumenfeld, De Leon, Harris-Dawson, Hernandez, Hutt, Krikorian, Lee, McOsker, Park, Price, Rahman, Rodriguez, Soto Martinez, Yaroslavsky. 10 members and a quorum, Mr. President.
Very good. Thank you. First order of business, please.
Approval of the minutes of April 25th, 2023.
Councilmember Hutt moves. Councilmember Soto Martinez seconds. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Councilmember McOsker moves. Councilmember Hernandez seconds. Next. Let's run through the agenda, please.
Mr. President, would the council like all items to go forthwith today?
Without objection, that'll be the order. Next.
Items 1 through 27 are items for which public hearings have been held. A communication from the mayor dated April 25th, 2023 has been submitted for item 10 and uploaded to council file number 23-0341 to correct the names and terms of the Workforce Development Board members to July 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2024. Items 28 through 35 are items for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Thank you. Those items are now before us, members. Would any members like to call any items special? Councilmember Price.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move at the mayor's request to amend item 10's Economic Committee report to adopt the mayor's reissued communication dated April 25th. The reissued communication is on the council file.
Thank you. I'll second that. Councilmember Hernandez.
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to call item 34 for special for comment. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Councilmember Rodriguez.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to call items 10, 11, and 14 for a separate vote. The economic disclosures have not been uploaded.
Very good. Thank you. Any other specials, members? Specials on the left? Specials on the right? All right. I see no other items that members wish to call special. So, Mr. Clerk, what is now available for us to vote on?
Mr. President, the council may now vote on items 1 through 9, 12, 13, 15 through 18, and 19 through 27.
Very good, members. Those items are now before us for a vote. If I see no other members wishing to be heard on those items, let's go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the votes.
10 ayes. 10 ayes.
So, whoever is shouting out, be silent, or else you'll be excluded from this meeting pursuant to Council Rule 12. There will be no disruptions of this meeting. No matter how strongly you feel about something, you will not disrupt this meeting or you'll be excluded from the meeting.
I'm informed, Mr. President, that's Camille Lewis who was making that noise.
For current purposes, it doesn't matter who it is. Everyone who's sitting in this chamber is warned accordingly. There will be no disruptions of this meeting, period. All right. We do have a couple of presentations that we're going to go to, but before we do that, Mr. Clerk, if you could please read the instructions regarding public comment. We'll be doing that after our presentations.
Yes, Mr. President. As indicated on the agenda, members of the public wishing to offer public comment should call 669-254-5252 and use meeting ID number 160-535-8466 and then press pound. Then press pound again when prompted for participant ID. Once admitted into the meeting, press star 9 to request to speak. When it is your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will ask you to press star 6 to unmute. Let me repeat, call 669-254-5252 and use meeting ID number 160-535-8466 and then press pound. Then press pound again when prompted for participant ID. Once admitted into the meeting, press star 9 to request to speak. When it is your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will ask you to press star 6 to unmute.
And for members of the public calling in or here in the room, when it's your turn to speak, please state which of the agenda items you'd like to speak on. You'll have 1 minute per item to speak, up to 3 minutes total. And if you wish, 1 minute for general public comment. Speak to the items before beginning general public comment. We'll tell you when your time's up. When speaking on the agenda items, you need to be on topic. Our goal is to get through as many speakers as we can. If you're not on topic, or if we can't tell whether you're on topic, you're going to get one brief warning from me or the president. At that point, you need to get immediately clearly on topic. If you don't, or you again stray off topic, unfortunately, you'll forfeit your speaking time and we'll move on to the next speaker. The items that are open for public comment today will be items 28 through 35. That's 28 to 35. And to be clear, the mayor's revised communication for item 10 were clerical changes like provision of a preferred name and other things. They are not substantive changes. As you were told, for people calling in, when it's your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will prompt you to press *6 to unmute yourself. If you don't do so, council staff will prompt you once more, usually by reading off the last 4 digits of your phone number. At that point, you really need to press *6 right away, or unfortunately we'll pass over you and you'll forfeit your speaking time. Finally, there is a brief time delay between the live meeting and the broadcast, and that makes 2 things important. First, when it's your turn to speak, please turn down any other devices like Channel 35 or YouTube that you're listening to. If you're listening to the other devices, because of the time delay and feedback, it causes a huge amount of confusion. Secondly, while you're waiting for your turn to speak, please keep one ear to the phone and just don't be listening on the other devices. We want you to hear in real time when it's your turn to press *6. If you're not listening on the phone, because of the time delay, you may not hear right away and you might get passed over. And with that, Mr. President, we're ready to begin with presentations.
Thank you very much. And before they all leave, I do just want to take a moment to congratulate all of the commissioners who we just confirmed, the mayor's appointees to the various commissions that we confirmed by our earlier vote. Congratulations and thank you for your service to our city. With that, I'm ready to go to our first presentation. And so I'd like to invite Councilmember Blumenfield and Councilmember Yaroslavsky. You have the floor.
Having everybody do the last few clauses is going to be
I thought just the
muddled.
Hello, welcome. Here with Councilwoman Yaroslavsky and Rabbi Hornsky, Rabbi Honda, Rabbi Silla, Ron and Donna Bender, Joanna Mendelson, hey, from the Federation, Allison Gingold, and hello, where's Consul General. We are all. Did I miss anybody? I'm sorry. Good. We are here today to celebrate the 75th anniversary of establishing the State of Israel, and we're going to do something a little unique. Instead of just each of us speaking as we would, we are going to read the resolution that's being introduced today. We're going to take turns reading it, kind of like you do at a Passover Seder, where you have different pieces of it and each one reads a different part. So before I start, do you want to say anything before I get started? Okay. This is the resolution that we are introducing, and it begins, whereas 2023 marks the 75th anniversary of the establishment of the modern state of Israel, whose independence was declared on May 14, 1948, and whereas on the same day in 1948, only 11 minutes later, the United States recognized the new state of Israel with full UN recognition and established full diplomatic relations with Israel. And whereas for more than 2,000 years, there has been a continuous Jewish presence and residence in the land comprising the modern state of Israel. And whereas the modern state of Israel was established several years after the Holocaust and World War II, where the death of 6 million Jews did not eliminate the will of the Jewish people to seek dignity in life and place of respect and recognition among the people of the world. And
Whereas Israel is a democracy where we can agree and disagree with its policies, and you have the freedom and rights to do so. Whereas Israel is home to many religions, primarily Judaism, Islam, Christianity, and Druze, as well as many religious sites sacred to Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and Druze. And whereas Israel is a diverse immigration nation, including but not limited to Jews from the Middle East, Latin America, Africa, Europe, and North America, as well as Arabs, who represent 1/5 of Israel's population. And whereas Israel's diverse communities have all contributed to Israeli society. And
whereas the State of Israel has become a source of innovative agricultural, industrial, technological, academic, medical, scientific, and cultural achievement and creativity. And whereas Israel has developed an advanced entrepreneurial economy and is among the world's leaders in the high-tech industry and is at the forefront of research and development in the field of renewable energy sources.
Whereas the State of Israel has formed many strategic partnerships with the United States and developed a relationship valued by both countries, and whereas on March 26, 1979, Israel signed a groundbreaking peace treaty with Egypt, the first of its kind with an Arab state, followed by the Israel-Jordan peace treaty on October 26, 1994. And
whereas the Abraham Accords signed by the United States, Israel, the UAE, and Bahrain on September 15, 2020, the joint declaration with Morocco on December 22, 2020, and the Abraham Accords declaration by Sudan on January 6, 2021, marked the first instance of new, normalized relations between Israel and Arab countries in more than 2 decades and have ushered in a new era of peace in the Middle East and North Africa. And
whereas the Abraham Accords have advanced understanding and interfaith dialogue and have led to growth in tourism, trade, investment, and defense cooperation between member countries, showcasing the untapped potential of building a better future for all in the region to work together towards a two-state solution. And
whereas since its inception, the State of Israel has and continues to face challenges to its safety and security. And whereas the City of Los Angeles has maintained a special relationship based on mutually shared values, common strategic and economic interests, and moral bonds of friendship and mutual respect. And
whereas the City of Los Angeles is proud of its sister city partnership with Eilat and seeks to strengthen the relationship through the LA Eilat Innovation and Cooperation Task Force, including but not limited to water and clean tech partnerships, cybersecurity collaboration, and cultural exchanges. And whereas Israeli Americans are a vibrant immigrant community, enriching the diversity of the City of Los Angeles and contributing to the ties between Los Angeles and Israel. And whereas the City of Los Angeles is home to one of the largest Israeli populations in the United States, including first and second generation immigration families. And whereas the United States continues to regard Israel as a strong and trusted ally and an important strategic partner.
Now, all together, we'll read, Now therefore be it resolved
that the City of Los Angeles recognizes the historic significance of the State of Israel's 75th anniversary of independence, applauds Israel for its incredible growth since its founding and the Israeli people for their significant contributions to the international community, commends Israel for its commitment to peace and the historic signing of the Abraham Accords, and reaffirms the strong and enduring alliance between the United States and Israel.
Happy 75th anniversary. Oh, Donna, and
I'm so grateful to be here today representing the Jewish Federation of Greater Los Angeles as a board member to help mark 75 years of independence for the State of Israel. We appreciate President Paul Krikorian and council members Bob Blumenfield and Katie Yaroslavsky for introducing this resolution, and thank the other council members for helping to commemorate this milestone anniversary. The Jewish Federation is the central organization of Jewish Los Angeles. we convene and lead the community to meet vital needs, one of which is supporting a secure state of Israel. On the 75th birthday, let's reflect on the remarkable achievements of this young nation. From its inception, Israel has faced constant security threats, yet it remains a thriving and diverse democracy. Although 18 times smaller than the state of California, Israel is a global leader in innovation and technology that has contributed to the world in the fields of science, medicine, the arts, agriculture, cybersecurity, and more. The United States' unbreakable alliance with Israel has been integral to her survival. This connection has led to significant collaborations between Israel and the state of California and the city of Los Angeles. From environmental sustainability to clean technology to community security, these partnerships help protect and ensure a brighter future for us all. Many of our LA civic and community leaders here today have traveled to Israel on their own diplomatic, professional, or personal trips. We are proud that Los Angeles is a great friend to Israel, as reflected in this resolution. We look forward to continuing our work together to make sure these alliances grow and congratulate Israel today on her 75th birthday.
And before we close, we have a 2-minute video to show you.
Hey, my name is Omri Caspi, and I want to tell you about my country, about Israel. Since Israel's establishment in 1948 and up until today, we had faith. We had faith that we could transform a small country filled with swampland, desert, and wilderness into a green oasis. We had faith that we can uncover and embrace the ancient history hidden in every inch of this land, spiritual, religious, and cultural, and to respect everything it represents. We had faith that people from all 4 corners of the world can come and live together. People with their own language, history, and culture could unite to create one nation with a common destiny and a common purpose. We had faith that we could overcome the pain and the loss, and that we could protect ourselves when the time came. We had faith that we would succeed in becoming a leading nation in many fields. Medicine and science, technology and innovation, academia, public health, economy, agriculture, water solutions, and more. We had faith and continue to believe that despite the disagreements and conflicts of the past, we can reach understandings and sign peace agreements with our neighbors for the sake of a better and a safer future for our children. We had faith that the youthful and innovative spirit of a country that was never afraid to dream big would help us send astronauts into space, win Nobel Prizes and Olympic medals, help countries in times of crisis, and make waves in the cultural and global entertainment community. And yes, we won the Eurovision 4 times.
Sometimes, even when things seem difficult and impossible, think about our country, our common history, and what we have managed to build and accomplish in just 75 years of independence. Israel is a miracle. Anything is possible with a little faith.
And the Kings go back up by 5.
Thank you very much. Happy 75th birthday to Israel.
Thank you very much, and happy anniversary. All right, we have another presentation next. I'd like to call on Councilmember Rodriguez to lead us, please, on the presentation regarding Denim Day.
Thank you, Mr. President and colleagues. First, I want to begin by thanking all of my colleagues for sporting their denim today. Today, we are celebrating Denim Day 2023. And I want to thank my colleagues for joining us this morning, as in the South Lawn, we brought together a host of advocates, survivors, local elected leaders. In fact, my apologies to the public, because with a record number of women elected to serve on the Los Angeles City Council, when we're all down there together, that means we've got no quorum, and that's a good problem to have. But I am joined today by the none other most fierce, incredible advocate for women and survivors everywhere. Where are you, Patty? There you are. It's like I'm looking around. Patty Giggins with Peace Over Violence, and Lorinda Hawkins Smith, a survivor, an advocate who put on display for all of us in her performative word and expression the experience of her personal experience. And today is about uplifting the stories of survivors and putting an end to the cycle of violence that has continued to affect women, not just here in Los Angeles, but around the world. The United Nations has reflected that 1 in 3 women are the victims of sexual violence or assault. Denim Day is the opportunity for us to uplift and say no to the story that was normalized in a court case in Italy that said that the woman who was raped condoned it because her jeans were too tight. And so in solidarity with women and victims and survivors everywhere, we wear our denim as an expression to say no means no. And that together we are going to continue to invest in prevention methods and education, to have the uncomfortable conversations with young people and families so that we can put an end, not just here in Los Angeles, but globally, to women becoming victims of sexual assault, domestic violence, and having to endure the trauma that makes them the survivors that they are. And so I want to thank Peace Over Violence, because for decades, they have been the leading advocates to help bring this conversation to the fore, to be a partner in our response for those calls that so often, unfortunately, our city has to respond to, but to help ensure that the survivors are getting the services and the support that they need to be able to tell their stories, to endure, to continue to survive and evolve into what sadly has to become the next phase of normalization, to be able to go on and continue in their strength and their power. And so, colleagues, I want to thank you all for your show of support and solidarity with survivors everywhere by the simple act of wearing denim, but more importantly, the more important acts that we must lead as a body in this council, to invest in the services and the support that will continue to assure that we put an end to this violence for women that they experience here in Los Angeles, and to ensure that together we are strong allies to put an end to domestic violence and sexual assault. And so with that, I'd like to invite our incredible collaborator, co-conspirator, if you will, one of my favorite people that we have here in the city of Los Angeles, and that is none other than the incredible Patty Giggins.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Rodriguez, and all of you for inviting and us here today, and once again declaring Denim Day in LA, and supporting these decades-long efforts, because we haven't solved the problem yet, and we won't until we do. This is our 24th year, and it's become Denim Day has become an international vehicle for promoting sexual violence prevention education and supporting survivors across the world. First Denim Day was in 1999, the year of that infamous Italian court case. Now there are millions who are joining with an intentionality. Now everybody wears jeans all the time, but we're asking with an intentionality. Know why you're putting on your jeans or your denim jacket today, because you want to support survivors and you want to transform rape culture. And if we can continue to do this, I believe we will eventually have really made a dent in this issue that is so profound. In 2020, the stats show that in California, there were 13,449 reported forcible rape cases. That's reported. Many more do not get reported. And many more women and men and young women and young men call our hotlines about and talk about the rapes that happened 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, because thank goodness we have at least opened the door for people to come forward at any point, because trauma does not heal on its own. You need a lot of support to heal from trauma. And the Department of Public Health says that here in LA County, that 1 in 10 men age 18 and older are impacted by intimate violence, which includes domestic violence and sexual violence, and also 1 in 4 women are impacted in our own county. This is why we continue to do what we do with our crisis hotlines, our counseling, our legal work, our housing, the prevention and education services. And Peace Over Violence is really proud to extol the domestic violence programs that we work so closely. I think there are about 35 DV shelters and programs in the county now, and that in the city we've got 9 rape crisis centers, of which we are one. And we are a network, and we work with many of the governmental agencies to provide 24/7 service. One of the things I think that I just want to talk about, our theme for this Denim Day, which has been, it came to us that we're coming out of this COVID. It's not over, but we are getting back to business and living our lives. And one of the things we learned during the COVID pandemic was the necessity to take care of ourselves and each other. A public health awareness grew that by masking, vaccinating, washing our hands incessantly, we were protecting ourselves from getting the virus and hopefully preventing its spread. Our Denim Day campaign themes for this year are let's protect each other, be an ally, be an upstander. These messages are appropriate coming out of this last period of threat. So how does one do that? How does it do that with sexual violence? One way is by cultivating and practicing qualities and characteristics that allow us to stand up for ourselves, learning how to use our voices, our bodies, our mind, our spirit to express ourselves and set boundaries to protect ourselves. And then to go beyond the self to be an ally and an upstander. An upstander is the opposite of a bystander who does nothing. An upstander takes action by finding a safe way to intervene or interrupt a situation. An upstander acknowledges the harm done to a victim survivor, whether verbal or emotional or physical, and validates and supports. The upstander says, I see what is happening here. I am a witness. An ally also acknowledges and stands with survivors and helps educate others that there is no excuse and never an invitation to harass, abuse, or rape under any circumstances. An ally listens, speaks up, and supports the dismantling of rape culture. An ally says, I see you, and I am here for you. We should all strive to be allies and upstanders in our world. Sexual violence is an intersectional and urgent social justice issue. To truly end it, we cannot separate it out from racial and ethnic justice, economic justice, disability justice, gender justice, domestic violence. We cannot separate it from the need for improvements in our health and criminal justice systems. That's what makes Denim Day a vibrant opportunity to focus on including all survivors and support the growing efforts for equity and justice. The trauma from sexual and domestic violence is among the root causes for so many social harms like substance abuse, suicide, gun violence, homelessness, even mass shootings. The list goes on. When we repair trauma and when we prevent trauma, we are ending suffering and promoting a healthy society. Today we wear denim with a purpose as a visible means of protest against the misconceptions that surround sexual assault. There's no excuse and never an invitation to harass, abuse, assault, and rape. Thank you so much for the support of the City Council over the many years that I've been coming here. I know we didn't come during COVID, but it's great to be back, and we will really welcome your support as we move forward in our mission to end sexual violence and all violences. It's my great pleasure to introduce, Monica, you want to introduce her? You want me to do it? This woman is incredible. She's a violence prevention specialist at Peace Over Violence. She's an actor. She's a producer, spoken word artist, and she's taken her lived experience and turned it into communications and lessons and very moving opportunities for people to get in touch with their survivorhood. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm just in such gratitude for Peace Over Violence. I stand here as a witness to the power of the programs at Peace Over Violence. While being in the course, the Violence Prevention Specialist program, I got to learn that I was actually in an abusive marriage at the time. There's such an intersectionality between sexual violence, domestic violence, that it can be blurry sometimes, especially when you're in marriage and you think that your roles are a certain way, but that oppression isn't necessarily supposed to be there. And I just want to credit Peace Over Violence to actually enlightening me even more. I thought I already knew, but they enlightened me even more to what that looks like, because it wasn't until quite recently that I realized that I am a survivor of sexual violence. And I just, with many years removed from it, it's freeing to be able to express that publicly. And again, Patty Giggins, Peace Over Violence. And I just am thankful to be able to make beauty from the ashes. Yes, I hate to say it, but what does not kill you can make you stronger. And I want to share my art to hopefully give voice to the voiceless and encouragement for those who might be in abusive situations to know that there is hope to get out of it, and to take the shame off of discussion of it for victims. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorinda. You have, honestly, many of my colleagues got to witness her incredible skill at sharing her story through art. And it was remarkable and powerful. And it's an invitation for those victims that are looking for support. That thankfully, in the city of Los Angeles, we have angels in Peace Over Violence and several other organizations that are there to provide the support and the resource that you need to help get through that trauma and regain your life. And so on behalf, ladies, of the Los Angeles City Council, I want to congratulate and thank you for 24 years of sustaining the activism that women and men need here in the City of Angels. Thank you for your work. God bless you.
Thank you very much for those inspiring words, which remind victims everywhere that they are not alone, and we stand in strong support and uplift them. So thank you, Councilmember Rodriguez. We will go next to public comment, and we'll take public comment from those who are here first in the council chambers, starting with Franklin the Ruler, Camille Lewis, and Adam Sappenfield, please. So if I've called your name, come on forward on the left-hand side of the chambers. Camille Lewis, I called your name. Come on up if you want to speak. Franklin the Ruler and Adam Sappenfield. Okay, I'll move on to the next speakers then. Gary Duplessis, Salud Garcia, Norma Reyes, please.
So if your name was called, please come on up. I don't think the exact order matters, whoever gets to the podium first. And hello, speaker. So if you would be kind enough to remind us of the name you signed up under and what you want to speak on.
Okay, good morning. My name is Gary Duplessis. I'm here with Flying Food Group, and I worked for Flying Food Group for 8 years, and today is our 17th day of striking regarding unfair labor practices. And personally, I would hope that you guys get tired of seeing us and act on our behalf. Flying Food Group has been violating labor laws, depriving us of fair wages, totally disrespecting us as human beings. We was going to be doing a protest against the unfair labor practices, and the company decided to lock doors from the outside, preventing employees from exiting, going out to perform this protest. I mean, it was demoralizing and unhumanizing to think that a company would go as far as locking employees in to keep them from protesting.
Thanks. Sorry, your time's expired, so we...
Thank you very much, sir. Salud Garcia, Norma Reyes, and Paul Andrade, please.
Hello. Oh, Sergeant, could you pull the mic down
Good
a
morning.
little bit?
Hola,
Thank
señora.
you.
Una pausa después de cada frase para traducirle bien, por favor.
Buenos días, miembros del Concilio de Los Ángeles. Mi nombre es Salud García. He trabajado en Flying Food en el Dish Watch por 31 años.
Good morning,
Mis
council
compañeros-
members. My name is Salud Garcia.
Sí.
I have worked, ¿cuántos años dijo?
31 años
31
en el
years for
Dish
Flying
Watch.
Foods in
Mis com-
dishwashing.
Mis compañeros de trabajo y yo en Flying Food Grupo estamos en el día 17 de nuestra huelga por prácticas laborales injustas.
My coworkers and I are on the 17th day of our strike against Flying Foods for unfair labor practices.
Estamos luchando por dignidad y respeto. Necesitamos que nos apoyen y exigimos que el aeropuerto empiece el proceso de quitarle la licencia a Flying Food. No
Yes, we
merece
want
operar
dignity and respect, and we want you to remove the Flying Foods license for their business operation at LAX.
de quitarle la licencia a Flying Food. No merece operar en nuestro aeropuerto. Gracias.
You should remove Flying Foods business license. They don't deserve to operate in our airports. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias, señora.
Good morning, members of Los Angeles City Council. My name is Norma Reyes. I have worked at Flying Food Group as ensembler equipment. Today is our, for 13 years, today is the 17th day of our unfair labor practice strike. After years of repetitive work, I suffer for arthritis. After giving so much to the company, I deserve a just retirement and health insurance. I'm here to ask you to stand with us. Flying Food Group should not be allowed to operate at LAX. The city councils must enforce the law and demand the airport begins to process to revoke Flying Food Group's license. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. In addition to the names I already called, I'd like to call Paul Andrade, Olga Tirado, Esperanza Montes, and Roberto Munoz, please.
Hello. If you
Buenos
would-
días.
Mi nombre es José Luis Absalón.
Yes, good morning.
Tengo trabajando en Fly and Food por 16 años.
My name is Jose
en
Luis
la área de
Absalon. I've worked in 16 years, for 16 years with Flying Foods
Departamento de Transportación, soy chofer.
in their
Y
transportation department.
básicamente venimos aquí.
I'm a driver.
Buenos días a todos los miembros del concilio. Y tenemos 17 días en huelga laboral injusta.
So good morning, gentlemen of City Council. We've been in strike for 17 days for unfair practices.
Y estoy aquí para pedir, estamos luchando para un salario digno, un respeto digno en el trabajo,
So I am here
condiciones
requesting
mejores en el trabajo.
dignified
Y
salary,
mejor
respect, better conditions, and better treatment at work.
Estamos luchando por dignidad y respeto. Necesitamos que nos apoyen y exigimos al aeropuerto empiece a procesar las licencias que no están permitidas para manejar esos camiones.
We
Fly and Food.
need dignity and respect. We request that their license to drive these trucks are revoked from Flying Foods.
Y estamos en esta lucha esperando buenas noticias y gracias por su ayuda y gracias por su atención.
So we're in the battle and we're expecting good news and your support. Thanks for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias, señor.
Next speaker, please.
Buenos días, miembros del concilio. Mi nombre es Esperanza Montes. Trabajo para Fly and Food.
Good
Como
morning.
emigrante sufrí mucho para llegar a esta gran
Un
nación.
segundo, señora, una pausa, por favor. Good morning, my name is Esperanza Monte, and I've worked with Flying Foods. Continúe.
Sufrí mucho para llegar a esta gran nación.
So, as an immigrant, I suffered so much to arriving in this great nation.
Hoy mi lucha, junto con todos mis compañeros de Fly and Food, y nuestra unión por una dignidad y respeto,
And today I am fighting together with our union for dignity and respect from Flying Foods.
lo único que nos falta es el apoyo de ustedes, miembros del concilio.
All we need is your support, members of City Council.
Llevamos en nuestro hombro la bandera americana, la cual no queremos ver caer sin el apoyo de ustedes.
We carry on our shoulders the American flag and don't want to see it fall to the ground. We need your support.
Necesitamos el apoyo para poder lograr nuestra lucha.
We need your support so we can win our battle.
Gracias, miembro del concilio, por escuchar mis humildes palabras.
Thank you, City Council, for listening to my humble words. Gracias.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Good morning.
Buenos días, alcaldesa Vaz y miembros del Concilio de Los Ángeles. Mi nombre es Juventino Godoy. He trabajado en Flying Food Group como chofer por 23 años.
Un segundo, señor Godoy. Yes, good morning, City Council and Mayor Bess. My name is Juventino Godoy. I have worked with Flying Foods. Dijo, ¿cuántos años, señor?
23
For
años.
23 years.
Mis compañeros de trabajo y yo en Flying Food Group estamos en el día 17 de nuestra huelga por prácticas laborales injustas.
So my coworkers and I are in our 17th day of strike due to unfair labor practices at Flying Foods.
Estamos luchando por dignidad y respeto. Necesitamos que nos apoyen y exigimos que el aeropuerto empiece el proceso de quitarle la licencia a Flying Food Group.
We need your support as City Council, and we demand that the airport begin the process of revoking the license from Flying Food Groups.
Flying Food Group no merece operar en nuestro aeropuerto.
Because Flying Food Groups does not deserve to operate in our airports.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Hello.
Hello. Buenos días, miembros del Concilio de Los Ángeles.
Hi, good morning, members of City Council in Los
Mi-
Angeles. City
Mi nombre es Olga Tirado y he trabajado en Flying Food por 14 años.
Hi, my name is Olga Tirado. I have worked with Flying Foods for 14 years.
Hoy es el día 17 de nuestra huelga por prácticas laborales injustas.
Yes, and today we're on day 17th of our strike due to unfair labor practices.
Estoy luchando por una pensión justa y poder tener un retiro digno.
I'm fighting for a just pension so I can have a dignified retirement.
Estamos luchando por dignidad y respeto.
We're fighting for dignity and respect,
Necesitamos que nos apoyen.
and we do need your support.
Exigimos que el aeropuerto empiece un proceso de quitarle la licencia a Flying Food.
We also demand that the airport begins the process of revoking Flying Foods' license,
Flying Food no merece operar en nuestro aeropuerto.
because Flying Foods does not deserve to operate in our airports.
Gracias.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Good morning.
Buenos días, alcaldesa Bass y miembros del Concilio de Los Ángeles.
Good morning, Mayor Bass and members of City Council.
Mi nombre es José Antonio Velázquez
Yes, my name is Jose Antonio Velasquez.
y he trabajado en Fly Fruit Group por 3 meses.
I've been working at Flying Food Groups for 3 months.
Mis compañeros de trabajo y yo en Fly Food Group estamos en el día 17 de nuestra huelga por prácticas laborales injustas.
And my coworkers and I are on our 17th day of strike due to unfair labor practices.
Estamos luchando por dignidad y respeto. Necesitamos que nos apoyen y exigimos que el aeropuerto empiece el proceso de quitarle la licencia a Fly Food Group.
Yes, and we're fighting for dignity and respect. We demand that they remove or revoke the Flying Foods business license at the airport,
No merece operar en nuestro aeropuerto
because they do not deserve to operate in our airports.
y aparte de eso no hemos tenido dinero de regreso para nosotros por esta práctica de los 17 días de laborales, pero ahí estamos.
Aside from that, we haven't been receiving any money or pay during these 17 days of strike, but here we are.
Pero esperamos que nos apoyen ustedes a nosotros,
What we hope is that you guys support us,
ya que tenemos familias y dependen de nosotros.
since we all have families that depend on us.
Muchas gracias, miembros del Concilio.
Thank you very much, City Council.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Good morning.
Buenos días,
Hi.
miembros del Concilio de Los Ángeles.
Good morning, Los Angeles City Council.
Mi nombre es Glenda Miranda.
My name is Glenda Miranda.
Trabajo para la compañía Fly Food Group hace 5 años.
I've also been working for Flying Food
Estoy en
Groups.
el departamento de empaque.
For 5 years, I've been in the packing department.
El día de hoy, mis compañeros, estamos aquí porque queremos darle a conocer a ustedes que esta compañía ha venido violando por mucho tiempo las leyes que favorecen a nosotros los trabajadores.
So my coworkers and I are here to explain to you that for many years, Flying Foods has been violating laws against workers.
Muchos de aquí somos cabezas de familia que trabajamos arduamente para mantener y darles una vida digna a nuestra familia
Many of us here are heads of household. We work to try
y
to
a
give our
nuestros
family
familiares
and
que
our
tenemos en
relatives
nuestros países.
in our own countries dignified help.
Queremos pedirles el apoyo a ustedes como concejales de esta ciudad
So we ask for your support as
que
City
hagan
Council.
que esta compañía cumpla las leyes y nos respeten.
That you make this company comply or follow the laws and respect us.
Ya llevamos 17 días y seguiremos adelante luchando por ley y derecho. Hasta el día de hoy hemos venido trabajando arduamente.
And we've been at it for 17 days, working to this day arduously, but we
Muchas
will
gracias.
continue fighting for our laws and rights. Thank you very much.
Gracias.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Good morning.
Buenos días.
Hi, good morning.
Mi nombre es Asenet Cabrera.
And my name is Aseneth Cabrera.
Trabajo en el departamento de Cold Food por 15 años.
I've been working in the cold foods departments for 15 years.
Estamos aquí, mis compañeros y yo, para pedirles el apoyo a ustedes, a la alcaldesa, a los miembros del concilio, que nos puedan ayudar.
So my coworkers and I are here asking for the mayor and the city council support so that you can help us.
Que de mi familia somos 6 que estamos fuera y nos merecemos esta lucha ahorita ganarla, pero con el apoyo de ustedes.
So there's 6 people in my family that are at it, battling them in this fight, but we can do it with your support.
Y pedimos también que puedan ustedes ayudarnos a que la compañía esa ya no pueda operar si no nos ayudan a nosotros el respeto que nos merecemos, el salario que nos merecemos, porque usted sabe que la inflación está muy alta.
So we would like for your help in supporting revoke their license so that they cannot operate if they don't give us the dignity and support that we need, because you see how inflation has made prices rise so high nowadays.
Gracias y que Dios les bendiga y esperamos su ayuda, por favor.
Thank you, God bless you, and we do expect your help, please.
Gracias.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please. Good morning.
Buenos días.
Good morning,
Miembros del concilio.
City Council.
Mi nombre es Isabel Escobar.
Yes, my name is Isabel Escobar,
Yo trabajo en Flying Food Group en comida caliente
and I've been working with Flying Food Groups with their hot foods
por 16 años.
department for 16 years.
Mis compañeros y yo de Flying Food estamos en el día 17 de huelga.
My coworkers and I on our 17th day of strike against Flying
Por
Foods
prácticas ilegales injustas.
due to illegal, unfair practices, labor practices.
Estamos luchando por dignidad y respeto.
And we're fighting for our dignity and respect.
Necesitamos que nos apoyen, por favor.
We need your support, please.
Y exigimos que el aeropuerto empiece el proceso de quitarle la licencia de Flying Food.
And we demand
No
that the
merece
airport
operar en nuestro aeropuerto.
start the process of revoking Flying Foods' business license because they don't deserve to operate in our airports.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Next speaker, please. Good morning.
Hello.
早安，巴士市长和洛杉矶市议员的议员，我叫谭世明，我在弗莱宁夫公司工作了5年。
So, no, we have a translator here. Could translator? So continue. If you,
Sorry, that's not Spanish. It's not Spanish.
Was speaking Spanish? We don't have a translator then. I don't think. Oh, we do. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yes, absolutely. And sir, before you begin, I apologize. We always have Spanish translation here, but we have other language translation available upon request for anybody who would like it if they just let us know in advance. So I apologize for that.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
Okay. Good morning, Mayor Bass and members of Los Angeles City Council. My name is Shimin Tang, and I have worked for Flying Food Group for 5 years.
Please continue.
今天是和我的同事针对公司的不公平劳动行为进行罢工的第17天。
This is the 70th day of our strike to the our unfair labor practice strike to the Flying Food Group.
我们正在为尊重和尊严和尊重而战，我们需要您支持我们，需要您要求机场开始进行撤销 FFG 许可证的程序，公司不应该继续在机场运营。
We are fighting for dignity and respect, and we need the government support. And also, we asked the government to begin the process of the airport to revoke Flying Food Group's license. Flying Food does not deserve to operate at our airport.
谢谢。
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next speaker, please. Good morning.
早上好，
Good morning.
我叫林庆峰，
My name is Qingfeng Lin.
在这个公司5年了。
I've working in Flying Food Group for 5 years.
我希望政府能够出面和公司交涉以后，促成公司和工会之间的谈判早日结束。
Okay, I hope the government can help us to negotiate with the company and also to make the strike to be settled as soon as possible and to help us to get a good deal and to earn what we deserve and earn a better labor conditions. Thank you.
谢谢。
谢谢。
Thank you.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, council members. I'm Robin Rodriguez. I'm the staff director with Unite Here Local 11. You've just heard from an amazing, diverse, courageous group of strikers at Flying Food Group, where hundreds of our members are on strike on their 7th day of strike. I'm going to summarize for you some of the legal issues we have over there. We are asking the city to stop Flying Food's lawless behavior at the airport. Flying Foods and its subcontractors have been found in violation of the Living Wage Ordinance on 3 separate occasions within the past year. There are 9 pending unfair labor practice charges, a Cal OSHA investigation open, 2 sexual harassment cases pending, and a CHP investigation into whether the company is using the correctly licensed drivers while Class B drivers are out on strike. Those drivers drive the huge trucks that go onto the tarmac. Flying Food workers are fighting for a contract to escape poverty because when you make $18.04 in the city of Los Angeles, you are living on the edge, and we have workers, unfortunately, at this facility who are homeless. As a condition of its license at the airport, Flying Foods certified it would follow state, local, and federal laws, but instead the company has shown contempt. We ask that you immediately revoke their license. I'll also mention that while we're here...
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to call some more names. Thank you very much, and thank you all for being with us. Okay, I'm going to ask for you to please not disrupt the meeting while we continue with our meeting and public comment, please. So I'm going to call a few more names, if you can come on up and be prepared to speak. Paul Andrade, Roberto Munoz, Hector Perez, Stephen Davis, and Adam Sappenfield, please.
Hi. So
Good morning.
For the record, you'd remind us of your name and what you signed up for.
My name is Franklin. I'm the CEO of Vegan Apparel, and I signed up for a general public comment.
Great. Please go ahead.
To the honorable city council members of Los Angeles, it is with great concern that I bring forth this proposal for the removal of Paul Krikorian from his position of a city council member for his use of derogatory terms towards a religious minority, which is unacceptable for an elected official representing a diverse city like ours. Mr. Krikorian's use of the terms, which I won't say, while representing the Budget and Finance Committee is deeply offensive to the Jewish community and all those who value tolerance and harmony in our society. The use of such language not only demonstrates his lack of judgment, but also a disregard for the feelings and sensitivities of those who have been historically marginalized and discriminated against. In 2018, while in the Budget and Finance Committee, Mr. Krikorian attended a Jewish heritage event and stated,
Sorry,
Thank you.
your time's expired.
Thank you very much, sir. Paul Andrade, Roberto Munoz, Hector Perez, Stephen Davis, Adam Sappenfield, Melba Cermeno, and Derek Jones, please. Allison Kirsty, Arnold Sachs, Norma Pimentel, and Camille Lewis, please.
So if your name was called and you want to speak, please come over to your left side of the chamber so the sergeants can let you in. Hi. So if you'd please remind us of the name you signed up under and what you signed up for.
Okay. Hi, my name is Allison Kirsty, and I'm here for general public comment.
Okay, please go ahead.
Great. Good morning. My name is Allison Kirsty, and I am a policy analyst and advocate with Better Neighbors LA. I'm here today to talk about our April enforcement report, which was sent to all of you yesterday via email. The home sharing ordinance passed in 2018 seeks to protect housing from wholesale conversion into tourist accommodation. But 5 years later, we continue to find that of the thousands of illegal short-term rental operators throughout the city, very few face consequences for violation to the HSO. This month's report details the lack of meaningful enforcement through a closer examination of the Corning Street property, a rent-stabilized apartment complex in CD 10. 5 of these 6 units in this complex are being used as short-term rentals, and Better Neighbors has in the past year sent multiple reports detailing the nature of the violations to the city with no luck at enforcement. The most enforcement that the operators have seen for taking 5 rent-stabilized units off the housing market is a single warning. We're asking you to hold accountable city agencies responsible for enforcing the HSO, and our report this month makes several recommendations for enforcement, including that the city streamlines the enforcement process and issues maximum fines to illegal operators. Thank you.
So if your name was called and you want to speak, please come on over to the sergeant on that side, your left side.
And
Mr.
I think the only names that are signed up that I haven't already called are Stacy Cigar Bollinger and Dr. D and Norma Pimentel. Come on up, or we're going to close public comment if you're not ready to speak. So let's come on up if I've called your name.
Hi, Mr. Sachs. Which items had you signed up for today?
I signed up for public comment,
Okay.
number 30, number 33, and number 35.
Great. So let's start with 30, 33, and 35 for 3 minutes, and then we'll do general public comment. Please begin.
Okay. Number 30 refers to the city's REAP program. Again, I bring up the point that people need to find a court. Just go to a court, speak to a judge, ask to speak to a judge. If you wait till you get a REAP notice, the city has gone from having judgments. They used to have somebody in here to assist people in the REAP program, and they've gotten rid of that position. If you go to a judge and say you're not getting the opportunity to have your case heard in a court, it's being heard through arbitration. And arbitration will normally give the landlord the benefit. I'm not against landlords having property, but I'm against the idea that people are not getting the opportunity to have their case heard in a court. So if you go to a court and you ask for the judge to give you an extension while you get legal help, the judge will look into your case and give you some assistance. If you don't go to a court and you wait till you get your REAP reward, your REAP notice, by that time your ship will have taken on too much water and you'll lose your property. Suggestion is go to a court, ask for an extension, ask to speak to a judge. You need an extension so you get legal help. Explain that you're working, you have a family, you have debts to pay, and you need some help. And the judge will look into the fact that all of a sudden arbitration is the only way you're being offered to settle your suit. And that sucks. Number 33 refers to Israel's Independence Day. So I'm wondering why there was a gentleman here on Tuesday carrying around a swastika. Which one of you motherfuckers stood up and said, you know what, that swastika is anti-Semitic? But nobody said anything. Why not? You too busy? Number 35 refers to the ex-mayor Richard Reardon. I was not here. I was living in Los Angeles, but I was living in Koreatown during that time. And there was a lot of crisis going on. There was a lot of rioting going on. There was quite a few disruptions. But now, after his term in office, things have gotten worse. There's more drugs, there's more violence, there's more graffiti, there's more trash, the streets suck, the buses suck, the subway lines suck.
Thanks. You can go to general public comment.
You have an item number 10, the Workforce Development Board. for terms from 7/1/20 to 6/30/23. You have 3 seats that have been vacant that whole period of time. 6/23 is next month, or 2 months. Why are you appointing people now? That's stupid. That's uplifting. You need to put some laser-like focus into your agenda. This deal with the airport, the fact is it's a proprietary department. So the city and the city has no control over a proprietary department because it's not part of the city. So you need to work on that. You need to revive the Affordable Care Act that was signed into law back in 2012 by President Barack Obama, which would provide some assistance to help women instead of getting battered around.
Hi, sorry, Mr. Sachs. Ms. Lewis, you were warned and you're disrupting this meeting again. Hi. Which items do you want to speak on today?
I wanted to speak on items 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, and general public comment.
Great. So we'll give you 3 minutes for the items and then a minute for general. Please begin.
Sure. Just a quick point of order, though. My husband informed me the YouTube feed isn't working, so maybe y'all could check on that really quickly. Feed's broken across all devices. He said he's checking multiple devices, so I don't know. Hopefully everyone who's trying to watch can. I'll get on with my comments. 28, 29, 30, and 31, respectively, are all regarding rent escrow accounts and having buildings being removed from those accounts. I find it really interesting that when property managers are in violation of their obligations, their tenants still pay rent. When water gets shut off with no notice, tenants still pay rent. When paint is chipping, well, like in my apartment, the paint is chipping in the cupboards where I keep my plates and glasses, and we recently had a city inspection for RSO, and when I pointed that out to them, they said that they only enforce a minimum standard, and unless it's a paint chip bigger than a 50-cent piece, they won't do anything about it. And I said, you just have to rinse out your food bowls and glasses. So I have paint chipping into the dishes that I eat off of and feed my family with. And the city says, that's okay, this building is A-okay. And then if they were in violation, I would not even be entitled to keep my rent money. Water gets shut off with no notice all the time because they're terrible at scheduling plumbing. So we need to rethink of how we penalize landowners and business owners when they commit crimes and break the law versus how we penalize our lowest level offenders who commit petty crime and things like that. 32 is a motion for street banners in my neighborhood. It's tough for me because I love my board and I love my neighborhood, but it does suck how many people we have sleeping on the streets. And we recently just had a big transphobic protest at the library when we tried to have drag time story hour. So people should look into that. 33, Israeli Independence Day. Yesterday we were talking about Armenian genocide, which is largely being perpetrated by Azerbaijan. And I just want to point out that Israel has been a big supplier of weapons to Azerbaijan. And the US coincidentally supplies a lot of weapons to Israel. According to the State Department, about $1 billion in weapons and technology in 2022. So it's rather duplicitous for us to condemn Armenian genocide and then celebrate one of Azerbaijan's allies the next day. All right, moving on to general.
Sure.
Thank you. All of you had made a vow to not work with that guy. No business as usual turned out to be a lie. You make me crazy. You want us to forget what you've done. But I'll keep singing until we get his resignation. I said, fuck you, Kevin DeLeon. Stop working with this guy, people.
Thank you. Ms.
Next
Lewis,
speaker,
please sit
please.
down. All right, Dr. Dumont, which items had you signed up for today?
General comment, please.
Sorry, what?
General comment.
Please begin.
It's not on. Okay, so Paul, you're a joke. You are an absolute joke. You accuse another person of what I did. And I will, every time De Leon comes into this room, if I'm here, I'm going to yell at him. He should not be here. You just appointed a whole bunch of new people today. You're exposing them all to that man. That man needs to be out of here. But you know what? You're such racist. You're such a racist. Do you live in the city of LA? Don't you know that this is a diverse city? Why are you only having one translator for one language? Give me a break. You don't get to tell people they need to have advanced notice to you when they need a translator. You need to be prepared for the people of this city. You're not. And you should be out.
Thank you.
Last call, Paul Andrade, Roberto Munoz, Stephen Davis.
Hi.
Norma.
So, if you'd remind us of the name you signed up under and what you want to speak on.
My name's Adam Sappenfield. I've been here regularly recently because my wife Sarah and I are seeking relief after being in the field now for years long. While the case we've undertaken is coming to a head, with the help of our fellows at the Central Intelligence Agency and the President himself, we've unveiled the syndicates of a wave of terrorism which is plaguing LA's neighboring counties. After fully immersing ourselves into the area we deem ground zero and going into its human trafficking network, it became evident that public and government corruption are working together at the direction of the Republican Party. Specifically, the former sheriff of Riverside County and the current, Chad Bianco and Stan Sniff, and one of their district reps, Karen Spiegel, and the largely unlicensed private investigative community are selling off government favors, trafficking a large number of less fortunate individuals, extorting residents, profiteering off of Las Vegas's newly created gambling websites. This case is ready to be closed. We need help making arrests. We need Los Angeles Police Department's help. You're very capable help, so please
Thank
reach
you.
out to us. We're here looking for help, so thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, last call for comments in chambers. Otherwise, we will go to the phones. Let's move to the phones. Do we have any speakers that have called in?
First caller, which items would you like to speak on?
Morning. I would 33, 35, and general public comment.
Great. So you have 2 minutes for the two items, followed by a minute general. Please begin, speaker.
Thank you. 33, happy birthday to Israel. After what I saw last week, I think I found a way that we can make more money for everybody's pet projects. Smoke and Scan presents LA's Victim Olympics on pay-per-view. If you victims would wake up and stop trying to be the biggest victim group, you would realize you should be happy that Israel has made it to 75. It shows us what can happen when people don't complain about being victims and instead stand up and fight back. You need to realize that the people in power are using you victims, like Mr. Herman's dad on a Saturday night at the Blue Oyster Bar. At least 12 guys telling him that he's special, filling him with warm, creamy filling, and then waking up like a sore like a fluffer from the Houston 500, Mr. Herman's mom. 35. Or actually, I'll just go to public comment.
Okay.
In the same spirit that you bring in caps for adoption, I would like to request after my call you have a short moment of silence for the people to say a quick prayer and send good vibes to Stacy's battling to get better. Love for animals is something that we should all be able to agree on. I think in the meetings when you have long presentations at the start, like last week with the superintendent, I think it's time that we look at letting the callers on the phone go first. Stop punishing us when we have jobs, making us wait on hold and not calling us, and making us listen to the tortures of Mr. Herman and his homunculus. To those that think that Damon pays me and Smoke and Scan shout outs, he couldn't pay me enough. There's nothing that I could do to pay back everything he does for the family and the LA community. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker.
Caller, which items would you like to speak on?
All right, I'll speak on general public comment.
Sure, please begin.
All right, so general public comment. It seems like Kevin De Leon, you need to get out. I don't know why you're still on the council, but you need to get out of office. And all of you are continuing this whole, string down this whole thing of business as usual. And it seems, and it's just, you're just racist to everyone. Like, how many, why can't you have translators for everyone, or just let people use their own translators? You've had a history of having terrible translators that don't actually even pick everything up, but yet no one's allowed to use their own translator that they know and would prefer to use. Kevin De Leon, get out of office. Let's get those neo-Nazi sympathizing cops out of City Hall. Get rid of all cops at City Hall. They're putting us all in danger. We can't show up anymore. It's not really safe to show up anymore because they're putting us in danger.
Thank
all
you.
of you cops, fuck you. Get a real job.
Thanks,
Get
Mr.
out of
Grabman.
the-
Next speaker.
Caller, which items would you like to speak on? Caller, which items would you like to speak on?
30, 31, 33, 35, and general public comment.
You have 3 minutes for the items, and then followed by a minute of general. Please begin.
Good morning. My name is Byron. I am part of the Trans Latina Coalition, and I was finally expelled at your meeting last Wednesday. Agenda item 30 and 31, housing. You have a job to do. You need to continue doing this and do more. You need to ensure that this housing includes TGI communities, specifically a $20 million investment over the next 5 years, ensuring that there's $4 million in this year's budget. 33, again, yes, you can do your smoke signaling for Israel, but last Thursday, you arrested a protester under Fable's orders, Ezra from Fable's orders, who was protesting a swastika. But sure, by all means, do your thing for Israel today. 35, Paul, Monica, you need to start funding the cops. We need to make sure that we're funding care for our communities, specifically TGI communities, on housing, violence prevention, and workforce development. General public comment.
Sure.
This body is anti-Black. We can see it time and time again by Estrafon Fables singling out and policing members of this body, of the public. This body is racist. You cannot throw Asian protesters aside. You are arresting people left and right. And this body is transphobic and homophobic, as I personally experienced firsthand last week when I was violently misgendered, purposely used the wrong pronouns, and used the police and my gender identity to be policed, to be thrown out of this meeting. Thank you, Councilmember Hernandez, for being the only one to interject this violence. This is violence, but again, for this body, that is business as usual, which is why we do not need cops in these chambers, and we need to fund the care for these communities, for TGI communities, immigrant communities, our houseless residents, and time again, your budget, your policies, your actions continue to fund criminalization of our bodies and of our peoples when you should be funding care. So all of you need to do better, and all of you need to get Estrafon Fable to step down. He's not a good representative. He needs to facilitate the public giving public comment and not criminalize
Thank you.
it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Caller, which items would you like to speak on?
Hi, I'd like to speak on general public comment, please.
Sure, please begin.
Thank you, Mr. Pablo. Thank you, Council. Hi, Council. I would like to bring it to your attention on April 24th, like around 10 a.m. in the morning, at the intersection of Hollywood Boulevard and Western Avenue, on the day that there was a rally for the recognition of the Armenian genocide that took place. I was in the subway, and as I was coming up the escalator, there was a black gentleman, a heavy built set, who was mentally ill. I heard him screaming, yelling at someone, and while I was going up the escalator, he brandished a pocket knife right in front of me as I was going up the escalator, and it was extremely startling. And I also wanted to let you guys know that right on the ground level of the top floor of the escalator where the U.S. Bank is, I've seen homeless and tweakers sitting in front of the U.S. Bank stair steps. And then I saw a mentally ill homeless woman.
Thanks, Speaker.
Caller, which items would you like to speak on? Caller with the last 4 digits, 5065, please press *6 to unmute.
So, Speaker with the digits 5065, you're there. Please unmute.
Hello, this is Donald Harlan.
Hi.
I'd like to.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'd like to speak on the agenda item with the property with 1206 South Vermont. I'm sorry, I don't know the agenda item number. That's the one with the Olympic Police Station.
I think you're talking
I'd like to comment on the commission appointments, the mayor's jobs, the mayor appointing commission jobs.
Okay, so the commission appointments. Okay, so the commission appointments have all been already taken up, but you have items 28 through 35 that you can speak on, and I think you were interested in several of those, so we're going to set the clock for 3 minutes. Please begin.
Thank you. Hi, this is Donald Harlan. I was going to mention about the agenda item with the property that says 1206 South Vermont, the Olympic Police Station. There's some fake assessor report there that says 1967, but it was added in at a much later time, maybe more recent times. I would see when it was submitted and who did that. I believe the original owner from 1975. Notice right around the police station there, all those properties are marked as nuisance properties, that it would be impossible for somebody to illegally develop all those properties right around the police station there unless the police were directly involved or implicated or something. Just so you realize what's going on there. I would not transfer any properties over there or acknowledge any deals. I would be careful who laundered money over there. You know, if it says somebody owns a property, but they paid zero for it, there's very few people in the city like that. I happen to be one of them. So it may be one of mine. Also, I was mentioned about the REIT properties. I think that people in Los Angeles misunderstand what the REIT properties are. They really don't understand it. They think they're fighting something there, that they're being removed out of there. But the REIT, those properties being in REIT probably have nothing to do with why you're being thrown out of there. It's about something else that happened there in that property before. And I would warn people about the city politicians. They fabricate civil rights conflicts and racial tension. They're promoting fake civil rights icons and fake civil rights leaders, fake Indian tribes, all kinds of stuff, fake religious groups, all kinds of stuff. It's like they learned all that stuff on television. None of that stuff they're doing is legal or true. I would just be warned to people not to believe them when they make shit like that up.
Do you want to go into general, Mr. Harlan? It sounds like you've started talking about
Yeah.
general. Okay, go ahead. You have a minute.
I was noticing that there's a big problem about the mayor and her economic agenda. She's claiming economic justice. I'm looking at her budget, and she's about $1 billion into claiming money that doesn't belong to her. Her hotel scams. I have a big problem with that. She's supporting illegal developments of hotels, and then she wants to put homeless people in there. She supported the illegal hotels, and she wants to use government money to pay for that illegal development for that crime. I mean, it's so ridiculous what's going on. What about the Marriott across from the Staples Center? That's an illegal hotel. How many of you guys are involved in that? The whole Democratic Party is involved in that. The whole Democratic Party is going to show up there.
Thanks, Mr. Harlan.
Caller, which items would you like to speak on?
Thank you. It's Eric Previn. I'll speak on the available items in a general public comment.
Will the available items today, Mr. Previn, are items 28 through 35. So you have 3 minutes for those. Please stay on topic, and then you'll get a minute for general. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. First of all, just a quick acknowledgement. I'm very impressed that Israel won the Eurovision 4 times. I did not know that. And happy 75th anniversary to Israel. And what a lovely acknowledgement following yesterday's epic acknowledgement for the Armenian record. We're doing a great job of recognizing our international friends and partners. And today is, of course, Denim Day. I noticed Rodriguez did a great job teeing up Patty Giggins, but was not in denim herself. I'd like to see, Lindsay Horvath is wearing denim in Washington, but Janice Hahn is not. I think it's so important to make sure that our commissions are properly staffed. And, like, for example, in Sherman Oaks, Sherman Oaks Neighborhood Council.
Can we stick with
Sherman Oaks Neighborhood Council? Yes, Sherman Oaks Neighborhood Council is item 30. It's the late, look at it. See it? The banner program?
So,
Bubble?
yes,
this
that's 32.
This should not be interactive. What should be interactive is the budget process, not you telling me about the Sherman Oaks Neighborhood Council. Okay, it's different than the Residents Association. We know both of them are nice. Rahman and company are trying to give a little love to the council and shine a little light, which is appropriate through a banner program. I think they have some problems with some of the residents associations. It's like that in Studio City too. We have a real crisis in Studio City because Krikorian left a train wreck. Now we have no neighborhood council practically. They've canceled the election, is my understanding, because nobody.
Let's stick with the items, Mr. Previn.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm talking about. Nick Sherman Oaks, which is the neighborhood council.
Kind of off the items.
No, we should not. You should not try to.
So let's not have a conversation. Just stick with the items.
Correct. We want a participatory process for the budget, and the items include lots of appointments of volunteers, and this is how the city runs. I'm very encouraged to see that the Committee on Aging and Disability, Immigration, Equity, and Civil Rights.
Okay, so we're going to take you to general, Mr. Previn. So you have a minute. You
Why
can
is
talk
that
about
not?
this.
That's on the agenda. That's item 22.
And item 22 wasn't open for public comment. I told you what it was, but you have a minute now, so start up.
This is a great disappointment, Fauble, because I think I know, everybody knows that the city is playing a game where it's not really inviting the public to participate. My support for the Unite Here people, but by lining up 100 of them and pushing people to the edges, what it does is it platforms their needs, but it also squelches a participatory process. Bob Blumenfield is the new chair of the Budget Committee, and he, along with the rest of you and the city attorneys, who I'm hoping are going to make a change, have been denying virtual comment or are planning to for the rest of the budget hearings. That's not a good idea, especially since you're in the room where it's doable. There's no material cost that should be prohibitive. This is our budget. It's 13-point-something billion. This is not something that should be done as a kind of Soviet series of pashas sitting there letting people kiss the ring. They should hear from the critics. We should hear from the departments, give feedback. And everybody
Thank you,
knows
Mr. Previn.
that this is.
Caller, which items would you like to speak on?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Which items did you want to speak on?
Are people allowed to comment on the presentations that you do? Israel?
Oh, yes. So that is item 33, I believe. So you have a minute. Please begin.
Okay, and the other question I have is about Mayor Bass has a bunch of reappointments. I don't know if people can comment on those.
Yes, so you can talk about
or
those in
that's
general
general
if you
public
want. So
comment.
we'll give you general for that. But keep going
Okay.
on with the Israeli part if you wish.
Okay, thank you. I thank you. I think it was magnificent, and grateful for the attention that you're giving this. And I just have a real issue with Democratic Socialists. I don't know about here, but in New York, they have to sign the anti-Israel thing, and I think it's horrendous. I'm hoping our Democratic Socialists on this neighborhood council did not have to do, on this city council did not have to do that. And I think anyone who owes allegiance to that party should not be involved because of the anti-Israel thing. That's all I have to say about that. As far as general public comment, I am so grateful for Mayor Bass for cleaning house with her reappointments. I hope she gets rid of all the planning commissioners that the developer puppet Garcetti appointed, who were only his mouthpieces and accomplices contributing to the worst homeless crisis in the country, including the planning commission who voted for the Uber upzoning in the Hollywood Community Plan Regional Center in spite of a feasibility study confirming that that would prohibit affordable being built in the regional center. And any council members who support that must also be developer accommodating and don't care about affordable or Hollywood's historic resources.
Thanks,
and
Speaker.
shame on them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Caller, which items would you like to speak on? Caller with the last four digits 9423, please press *6 to unmute.
So speaker with the digits 9423, if you're there, press *6 right away. Nope. Okay, I think we better go on to the next person.
Caller, which items would you like to speak on?
Yes, thank you for allowing me to speak today. I'd like to speak on all items and public comment.
So the items that are available are items 28 through 35 and then general. So please begin with the items.
And those are on the agenda for today, correct, sir?
Yes, they're rent escrow items, street banner item, Israeli Independence
Wonderful.
Day, etc.
Wonderful, and these are all items that the public could speak on. And to the individual who called in and knocked the police because he says they're being too violent, too rough, etc. We saw the other day when the officers, when somebody wanted to talk on one of these agenda items, they handled this one woman who took somebody from somebody else who should have never taken it. They treated her with kid gloves. If they would have been here 10, 15 years ago, the police would have just hauled their butts out. But this group of officers have done everything possible to make sure that the people who want to speak. So I hope the person who had the negative comments about these officers, who, if you look at the record, there's been no incident, that I believe that there's no incident where there's been any overreaction by the police. So again, because these were agenda items, I want them to know that please look at what's being said and what's being done and how wonderful the officers are handling these issues. And I'm not a kiss ass to anybody, but when something is good, it's good, and when it's bad, it's bad. Now, may I go to public comment?
Well, it sounds like that was public comment. Did you want to speak on?
I was talking on agenda items, please. I was talking about how, okay, can I speak public comment, please?
Well, I really think that was general public comment.
Sir, that was on the agenda. You heard me speak about the agenda 4 times and how people are not. Can I speak my general public comment, please?
So, sorry, I think we really need to move on to the next speaker.
I still have to.
Caller, which items would you like to speak on?
General public comment.
Sure, you have a minute. Please go ahead.
Good morning, stakeholders. Good morning. Once again, the paper passer pushers, expensive paper passer pushers. I don't understand why you guys, first of all, the YouTube channel wasn't working. I guess they don't want us to see you guys trying to wear jeans. Do you bother today? I don't know if you drive down Main Street. I'm just going to be random. Everybody else on my phone. I think I'll be on my phone. What did you guys eat today? Yesterday? You guys listen when you have your presentations. Genocide? Native American genocide? Hello? When's someone going to come and do that? And when are you going to adopt a disabled, handicapped person that's living on Main Street? When are you going to bring them in? And where's my neighborhood council? Hey, Soto Martinez, where's my neighborhood council? Tell me, please. 9 of them resigned because they were corrupt, just like you guys. You're all corrupt. You're going down
Thank
with
you.
Kevin DeLeo.
Thanks.
Caller, which items would you like to speak on?
Ooh, speaker, it's really hard to hear you. Can you speak louder into your microphone?
Yeah, that's going to be 33.
Okay, sure, go ahead.
Happy birthday, Israel. Congratulations to being a prosperous country. We have that opportunity here in City Council to do the same. Papa Krikorian, maybe you should start listening to the people. They don't seem to think that you're doing the job you think you're doing. Maybe, again, being a dictator, appointing things and taking it out of the people's hands. That's not a democratic process. You know that. And you getting out there and not liking things in your body language says a lot when you're on camera. City Council, I applaud you. Keep doing your hard work. God bless you guys. Have a blessed day.
No more callers in the queue.
Okay, thank you. We've taken public comment. We're going to close the phone lines and close public comment on all items. Council members, we're now able to vote on some items, I believe. Mr. Clerk, which items are before us at this time?
Mr. President, the council may now vote on items 28 through 33 and 35.
Okay, members, any discussion on any of these items? Seeing none, let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Next item, Mr. Clerk.
The council may now vote on item 10 as amended by motion Price Krikorian, called special by Councilmember Rodriguez for a separate vote.
Okay, let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote on this item.
11 ayes.
Okay, next item. Councilwoman, you want to?
And for the record, Councilmember Rodriguez's vote is for a no. And the tally is 10 ayes, 1 no.
All right, duly noted. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
The council may now vote on item 11, called special by Councilmember Rodriguez for a separate vote.
Okay, members, any discussion? Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote on this item.
10 ayes, 1 no.
Okay, next item.
The council may now vote on item 14, called special by Councilmember Rodriguez for a separate vote.
Okay, let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
10 ayes, 1 no.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, what's next on the agenda?
The council may now consider item 34, called special by Councilmember Hernandez for comments.
Councilmember Hernandez?
Thank you, colleagues. I just wanted to share that today, item 34 is something very special. At 1206 South Vermont Avenue, we have the closed down fire station number 13. And with this motion, we're looking to assess the property to see what its habitability is, if it can still be used or if it needs to be torn down. Because our goal is that we're gonna be, and I'm gonna say this, I'll put it in the universe. We're gonna build a station where we can dispatch alternate crisis response teams from. This is in our district. It's also on the border of CD10, so we can share these teams. But that's the goal, is to build a station where we can dispatch out some of these teams that we end up building. So I look for your aye vote, please. Thank you so much.
Okay, any other comments, members? Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
All right, it's been brought to my attention that we have one additional speaker for public comment. We will take her comment.
Hi, Dr. Truthbay, which items did you want to speak on?
It was 33 in public comment.
Sure, you have a minute for each. Please go ahead.
Yom Hazmat, right? Israeli Independence Day, May 14th, 1948. I would love to say the same thing here, Independence Day, for descendants of chattel slaves, right? But we don't want to keep talking about that racist stuff. So while we have honorable for Dependence Day for another country, right? We had our reparations hearing for LA on Saturday, right? Did we speak about the reparations that we're giving to blacks here? Or is it going to be another Armenian Genocide Recognition Day? Denim Day for rape victims. But for blacks, descendants of slaves, where my ancestors built this country since 1636, you got to still study it. Ain't that right, Hugo Martinez, Curran Price? And of course, absentee Marquise Harris Dawson, who had to do a video conference because he couldn't sit in the same room to talk about black civil rights. I haven't seen a body more disrespectful to black cis women, since you want to call us that, right? You have transgender rights for everyone, but for cis women, families, black families, you're studying us, you're dismissing us. You have legislative bodies like Bellum Lamas who denies to even give. What do you give to black businesses in District 8? We're going to take 6 months to tell you. So I tell you, any other agenda that you have concerning any other racial, cultural group of people, right under that, I need an anti-black agenda, meaning legislation, since it's a legislative body, concerning what you're doing for people that look like me. That's in housing, business, incarceration, DCFS. Throw a bone at us this year, can we? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Mr. Clerk, what is next on our agenda?
Council has motions for posting and referral.
Those items are posted and referred.
The desk is clear, Mr. President.
Okay, members, any announcements this morning? Councilwoman Rahman.
Thank you so much. Colleagues, I want to take a moment to bring to your attention a resolution that this council recently passed. During the month of April each year, National Arab American Heritage Month celebrates the rich and diverse culture and contributions of Arab Americans after decades of advocacy by Arab American communities and organizations for recognition. Since first coming to America in larger numbers during the late 19th century, Arab Americans have shared their rich culture, traditions with our communities, while also serving as examples of public servants. They've made invaluable contributions to every aspect of our society in medicine, law, business, technology, civic engagement, and have greatly improved our city of Los Angeles. They've also been at the forefront of civil rights and social justice movements through labor organizing, anti-war protests, and intersectional coalition building. The state of California is home to the largest Arab American population in the United States, with Los Angeles being home to 300,000 Arab Angelinos, the largest population in the state and the third largest in the county. Also, the Arabic language is the 13th most spoken language in our city, a fact that I didn't know before introducing this resolution. On behalf of the City Council, I wanted to formally acknowledge that we declared the month of April 2023 as Arab American Heritage Month and celebrate the contributions that Arab Americans have made to this fine city and to our society at large. Thank you all.
Thank you. Any other announcements, members? Councilmember Marquise Harris Dawson.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. I have two announcements. The first is about our beloved Mount Carmel Playground. It is the recipient of an $8 million investment from the city's CDBG funds. So we're opening up on Saturday morning the new playground that's been built there, and it'll be debuted for the neighborhood and for young people. This summer, we'll have summer camp for kids age 5 to 12, Monday through Friday, all day during the week. And Saturday morning is when we will unveil the new park. and have some good food and hang out at Mount Carmel Park at the corner of Hoover and 70th Street. My second announcement is about the Crenshaw Wall. The event is called Pull Up at the Wall. This Saturday, Destination Crenshaw is hosting an event from 11 to 3 on Crenshaw between 48th and 52nd. Everybody knows the world-famous Crenshaw Wall. It is one of our most iconic pieces of public art anywhere. We're beginning the process as a part of Destination Crenshaw. We will take the wall down, we'll repair it, build it back up, and the original artist that did the murals that you see now will come back and paint new murals. And so Saturday is the day that we will sort of end this phase of the mall. There'll be a photo activation. You'll be able to, we'll encourage everybody to take Polaroids at this wall, and then we will end it and come up with a new wall. There will also be a 5K run hosted there that day, a lowrider show in keeping with the tradition of Crenshaw Boulevard, as well as a farmer's market and food trucks on this coming Saturday morning.
All right, sounds like a good time had by all. Any other announcements, members?
Mr. President, there is a group of professionals, group of workers in every one of our business offices, nonprofit offices, government offices that makes the world go round. Today is Administrative Professionals Day, and I want to wish our administrative professionals a happy day and thank them for their great service. They really are the sort of the energy behind each and every one of us, and I'm sure the entire council will join me in wishing that group of employees a happy Administrative Professionals Day.
Let's give that group a hand, huh? Wherever you are, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Any other announcements, members? Let's stand for adjourning motions. Okay, any motions to my left? To my right? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.